In its March report on LMPD, the Department of Justice said officers need to improve their interactions with people with mental health issues. That report also drew attention to one man who had 21 interactions with LMPD in 21 months. So tonight, Focus investigator Travis Breeze is here bringing us the story of Keith Smith and how agencies are trying to stop another case like this.
Okay, Keith Smith.
Trapped in the criminal justice system.
Okay, come on.
Trying to explain his situation.
He's having a rough time, Your Honor.
Nobody could help Keith Smith.
Keith's case is very sad.
Until it was too late. Keith Smith was a 66-year-old homeless man living in Louisville. He was well known to police as he had 21 misdemeanor arrests between March 2020 and January 2022. His most common crime was being a nuisance at local businesses by trespassing or being disruptive. Virtually every one of his cases was dismissed, or he had enough credit for time served to cover his sentence.
He does suffer from this mental health illness.
Keith's mental health came up often in court, but he was found competent to stand trial in the summer of 2021. So he kept going back and forth between the streets and the courtroom.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Keith's last arrest was on January 5th of last year for trespassing at a pizza place downtown. He died 4 days later in Metro Corrections. The cause of death was internal bleeding and stomach ulcers.
Don't just put them in the court and let them go. You know, make sure that they're getting the help they need.
Susan Klussman Turner is a peer support specialist at Bridgehaven Mental Health Services on First Street.
Do these make sense to you all?
She has schizophrenia and teaches other peers how to help those in recovery.
The path for everybody is a little bit different.
In the March Department of Justice report, the authors said Metro's practices of responding to behavioral health issues are exemplified by Keith Smith and implored police to partner with mental health professionals on calls. About 2 months after Keith's death, LMPD started its deflection team with 7 counties. The program allows 911 dispatchers to divert certain calls to mental health workers who speak to the caller and choose the appropriate response. It started in one police division and is expanding to the whole city.
In the 1,200 calls that we received, what we saw was we were able to help people who were having some distress that didn't require a police officer.
The mayor's office, LMPD, and 7 counties all declined to interview for this story. While the city works on the police side, experts say the courts have needs too.
In most situations, there is no obvious course to take.
Damon Preston is the head of public defenders throughout the Commonwealth. Preston says the fact that Keith only committed misdemeanors gave him virtually no shot at getting court-appointed psych treatment because the parties always want to reach a speedy outcome, and the most common result is a fine or probation.
People don't get treatment as part of the outcome of the case because it's just not necessary. They can get out of jail without getting treatment.
Preston says leaders across the state are starting to realize this issue. And it was the focus of a recent mental health summit at the Galt House.
If it's a crime that doesn't have a specific harm or a specific victim, I would hope that the focus would be on how do we make the future better.
A person with mental illness, their survival is based on their relationships.
Klussman Turner believes Keith died because he had no relationships. She hopes that as we improve the system, we meet people where they are and notice when someone is stuck in a cycle.
Even the sickest of people can be helped.
A spokesperson for the mayor's office says the community care campus that is going to be going in the Smoketown neighborhood will be a resource for homeless people with mental health issues. They are hoping to have a phased opening of that project, with it starting by the end of this year. LMPD also says that the deflection team will be expanding to 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. starting on Saturday, July 1st. It has been available starting at 2 p.m. over its first year. In the studio, Travis Breeze, WHAS 11 on your side.